Dalovina guia dolosana angito talita kini ana barong ng Bula FM e Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang ko tevita utunggoy 90 ando talita ka wale barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Nadang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Batambo ando talita na barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, government to draw up a new budget from 1st of August. Fiji will not intervene in seasonal workers' claims in Australia. And more people to be deployed to offer psychological assistance to Tropical Cyclone Winston victims. A new budget is expected to come into effect from 1st of August. This was announced by the Minister for Finance, Ayaz Cyclone, this afternoon. Farzana Nisha has more.
Finance Minister Syed Qayyum says the government has been working on a budget from December and have had a number of discussions with the World Bank since January 2016.
This year's financial year obviously will be a shorter year, which commenced in January. It will now end on the 31st of July. And the new financial year will begin from 1st of August 2016 and it will end on the 31st of July 2017.
All permanent secretaries have been informed of the changes in a briefing last week. Syed Qayyum says the current financial year will be shorter, ending in July.
So in the same way, we would expect to have the budget presented to Parliament in July and have it debated and done with in July for it to actually commence from the 1st of August. So June, July is the period that we are looking at for presentation to Parliament.
The ongoing projects from the November budget will be carried into the new August 1st budget. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
The government will not intervene in claims by Fijian workers under the Seasonal Workers Program in Australia that they're being mistreated. In an exclusive interview with FBC News, Employment Minister Semi Koroilavisau confirms the Australian government is dealing with these issues. Savara Tambua has more details.
The government is letting Australian authorities handle all allegations because it doesn't want to compromise potential job opportunity for Fijians in the future. Employment Minister Semi Koroilavisau says such issues need to be handled professionally.
We are in need of work, and Australia and New Zealand are willing to provide this work. So as far as the Fiji government is concerned, this needs to be handled properly at diplomatic level so that this opportunity does not go away and we continue to be looked at favorably by the employers both in Australia and New Zealand.
6 Fijians recruited under the Seasonal Workers Program in Australia claims that they were underpaid by their employer. Koroilavisau says such claims will not deter efforts by the government in trying to secure more employers from Australia and New Zealand.
And we hope that we will be able to encourage the Australian employers and New Zealand employers to recruit more workers from Fiji and assist rural isolated areas where there's no economic activity there. This can create economic activities in the local area that they live in.
The 6 workers will continue to work until the expiry of their visa. One has returned, while the other 5 still in Australia under the guidance of the Australian authorities. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
More people will be deployed by the Methodist Church of Fiji to offer psychological assistance to cyclone-affected victims. These counsellors are church leaders and ministers from various churches in Fiji and have completed a thorough workshop of trauma counselling. Kelly Vavala has the details.
The devastating aftermath of Tropical Cyclone Winston has left lifetime scars on thousands of people in Fiji. The Methodist Church says trauma counseling is a way they will assist to ensure these victims recover psychologically and ensure they get their lives back on track.
The church has called together people to train them in the trauma counseling. We called together the ministers of the church and some lay people and other ministers of other churches to a training program So people are trained, and now they will be also deployed to do the next round, which is the counseling, the trauma counseling, just to bring out the stories that people are affected, facing difficulties. They seem to be lost somehow. So the attempt now is to go and try and bring them, and realizing the difficulty that they have gone through.
Some youths have also accompanied ministers and church leaders to offer humanitarian assistance to cyclone-affected areas.
We have sent out teams to other places to see for themselves what is the difficulty that they are facing. Some were deployed around Vitilevu, to Asawas, and to Ra and to Mba, and the Televu areas that were affected. Some accompanying food rations and clothing and other items.
The councillors have been deployed to the areas of Vanuambalavu, Ra, Tailevu and the Lomaiviti group. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
7 drivers appeared at a special court sitting today after they were arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol in the last 48 hours. 20-year-old Anasa Mbongi appeared before Magistrate Salakumbo Ramasese in a special court hearing in Lautoka this morning. Bongi is charged with 1 count of giving false information to a public servant, 1 count of failing to undergo a breathalyzer test, 1 count of driving without a license, and 1 count of driving a vehicle that did not have a third-party risk policy insurance. Magistrate Ramasese granted the accused bail and ruled that the case was not a serious one, also taking into account that Bongi had pleaded guilty to the 4 counts he is being charged with. Meanwhile, 49-year-old farmer Ratu Chese Rinakama appeared at the Suva Magistrates Court today, charged with 1 count of drink and drive. He has been told to reappear in court tomorrow, as his case has been referred to a chief magistrate. Rinakama was arrested along Waimanu Road for driving under the influence of alcohol. Coming up on FBC News, EU to continue to support Fiji's sugar and agriculture sector.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Recreative Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Filipa from Tavo Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the...
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The culmination of the long Easter weekend saw members of the public flock to picnic spots around the country to enjoy the favourable weather condition. And the sun-scorched Western Division was not an exception. Madhyam Balaitamana reports.
Enjoying the mild conditions prevalent at Lautoka's Saweni Beach. This was the order of the day for most residents of the Sugar City as they took to the beach.
Today is Monday, hardly we have time for the family. So we're making the use of the time, bringing our family to the seaside and enjoying our holiday with the family.
Well, the same goes for me, during all of this year we will be like working, and this 4 days holiday hardly comes around, and it was a year, so we just decided to come to the beach and have some barbecue, swim, let the kids relax and just make the most of this holiday that we have,
For this group, the public holiday proved to be timely after a hectic weekend of religious activities.
It is a lovely day. The clouds are hanging above us, but we've prayed for a lovely day, and God has given us a lovely day.
For others, it was just time to catch up with family and friends before they head back to a busy week of work.
My name is Demesite, and people usually call me Sugar, for I'm sweet. And I'm very happy today to be at this beautiful beach, spending time with my friends and family. And it's probably a nice holiday. And I thank the government for organizing this holiday.
As the longest weekend for the 2016 calendar draws to an end, a new working week should herald a rejuvenated beginning for all Fijians. Madhyam Balaitamana, FBC News.
The European Union has reaffirmed its commitment to support government's bid to bolster the sugar and agriculture sectors in the wake of tropical cyclone Winston. The EU says the two sectors play a crucial role in strengthening the Fijian economy. Municipal again with this report.
The European Union says it will throw its support behind two of Fiji's integral sectors in rebuilding from the remnants of tropical cyclone Winston.
We are preparing a program of support for the sugar industry and the agriculture industry as well to help recovery following the cyclone. I don't yet know exactly how much additional funds we're going to have available, but I hope to be able to announce that in 2 or 3 weeks' time. But we already know that we have a 20 million euro program, so around 45 million Fiji dollars, which in any case we have the funds for.
Jacob says its priority is to ensure that those whose livelihoods depend on the sugar industry is adequately met, which in turn will reflect positively on the Fijian economy.
And for us it's a big priority to try to make sure that the sugar and agriculture industry, the farmers who are involved in various parts of the country, particularly in the sugar belt, do have the means to recover following the cyclone. It's important for them, not only for them and their families, but for the Fijian economy as a whole. It's crucial, and we're working very closely with Fiji on that.
Ambassador Jacobs was in the Western Division these last few days, visiting farms that have been affected by tropical cyclone Winston. Municipal, FBC News.
Many people who endured the wrath of tropical cyclone Winston last month will never have their stories told. But a well-known children's book illustrator is sharing his story through paintings. Anareso Momo's paintings were part of the display at the Waisiliva art exhibition in Suva last week. Akusita Tale has more.
Telling his story through paint on canvas, Anareso Momo shares the long hours he endured with his family when Cyclone Winston destroyed their home in Rakiraki, almost claiming their lives. Footprints in the wind shows chaos and confusion when the Category 5 cyclone ravaged their home on the eve of February 20th.
Winds were blowing not from one direction only, all directions, and it was just not like a normal cyclone. Everything was flying in all directions, not in like one direction like cyclones do. And we were just lost in the whole thing. We didn't know how to take cover. And the painting behind me shows the feeling we had at the time.
So Momo says his family didn't expect the strong winds would rip off the roof of their house, leaving them homeless. What better way to share his story with others than through his art?
We started praying for safety, but when we started seeing our roof go, we knew we were going to die. We were praying, the tone started changing from praying for safety to praying to cleanse us before being taken.
So Momo hopes to compile children's books to illustrate the devastation of the Category 5 cyclone. Proceeds from the exhibition will go towards the Fiji Red Cross TC Winston National Appeal. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
A majority of the municipal markets around the country were destroyed during the height of tropical cyclone Winston. While some will be renovated, others will have to be rebuilt from scratch. Local Government Minister Parveen Bala has confirmed that a local architect company, Sharman Architect, has voluntarily stepped in to assist in the rebuilding of some damaged municipal markets.
He has volunteered to do a concept for the entire area that will include Rakiraki Market, bus station, taxi and carrier stand. At the moment, we were trying to focus on the market, but after my visitation, I thought that it's the right time when we should have a new bus station, market, carrier and taxi stand.
Coming up in sports news, Yi families celebrate table tennis rep's achievement. And Fijians shine in Europe. We'll have more this and more after the break.
Eileen, natoka मैं मिर्ची FM को लॉक कर दिया जाए. मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
हम नकाशी से साइमन है, हम वेजिटेबल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची FM नंबर 1 है.
My name is Dinesh. हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जैन जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची FM is hot. I like it.
Mirchi FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC Sports. The Yi family is still trying to come to terms with the achievement of eldest daughter Sally, who will represent Fiji in table tennis at the Rio Olympic Games. Father Henry was over the moon when he received the news and shares the local table tennis fraternity's view that the feat will help the development of the sport in the country. Charlene Daudakadaka has more.
15-year-old Sally Yi will become the youngest ever athlete to represent Fiji in an Olympic Games in August. Yi's father, Henry, says it was one of the most proudest moments in his life when his daughter secured a third-place finish in the Oceania Championship in Australia over the weekend, gaining qualification to the Rio Games.
I think that's through her hard work that she managed to qualify for Olympics. And for her age, I think she's young, and I thought she'll make it or not. I wasn't really sure, but the way she trains, I believe she can make it. So she did.
Fiji table tennis president Anthony Ho was cheering from the sideline as Yi secured Olympic qualification and hopes this will raise the profile of table tennis, which is still considered a minor sport in the country.
Every sports administrator's dream to see one of their players make it to the Olympics. So for us, this sets a new development in our sport. I think we can use that and motivate other people to take part, and especially for someone young like Sally, I think she's going to be a great role model for our sport and for younger people in Fiji, that table tennis is a sport that people can aspire to.
Yi's achievement is sure to elevate table tennis to greater heights, especially when she fronts up to take her place in the Olympic arena in August. Charlene Daudakadaka, FBC Sports.
The road to the Rio Olympics is getting narrower for overseas-based reps looking to be selected in the Vodafone Fiji 7 side. Coach Ben Ryan is laying down the law and says although he wants to give the overseas players a chance to prove themselves, the priority lies with the local-based players who sweat it out each week in training camp.
What I don't want to happen is I let them play in Paris or Paris and London, and then we select a squad to train for the Olympics and they say, oh sorry, you can only have them for 2 weeks before the Olympics. The overseas boys need to be here early because they're the ones that will have to work on their fitness more than our local boys and have to understand our systems. So it's vital we get both of those things agreed. I'm not just going to fit someone in because they can play in the last tournament, but then they can only be available for half of the preparation for Rio.
Meanwhile, the team will return to camp tomorrow and the final 14-member squad will be named at the end of the week for the Hong Kong Sevens next weekend, as well as the Singapore Sevens the following week. The New South Wales Waratahs escaped with a scrappy 15-13 Super Rugby victory over an improved Queensland Red side at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane last night. It was far from champagne rugby, but the Waratahs were able to overcome the Red scrum superiority and earn their second win of the season and sixth in a row against their oldest rivals. Here are the highlights.
Here comes the pressure now. Holmes doing well.
Penalty try. The referee has had enough. It is a try to the Queensland Reds. Where do they want to go? They want to go wide. It sets up for Folau, and Israel Folau scores his second try of the season. Gets out, and Michael Hooper says, I'll have a crack. And he gets it out now to Holloway, who gives it to Bernard Foley. And Foley puts the foot on the gas. Claimed there by Liam Gill. So maybe it will be the Waratahs who have the final say. Here's Israel Folau. He has got a double after the halftime siren.
Meanwhile, following round 5 games over the weekend, the Chiefs lead the pack ahead of the Stormers, Brumbies, Highlanders and Sharks. Fijian players continue to shine in rugby competitions across Europe. In the top 14 competition in France, Flying Fijians winger Timothy Nangusa scored 2 tries for Montpellier. Charlene Daudakadaka reports.
Timothy Nangusa is enjoying his best form in recent times. Following his 2-try effort against Toulouse last week, Nangusa scored another double for Montpellier against Agen, which featured fellow Fijian Api Ratunearawa.
38-21 après transformation.
Levan Mbotia scored one of La Rochelle's 3 tries in their 23-29 defeat to Grenoble.
Après 13 minutes, quand le Racing...
Manasseh Solo played at loosehead prop for Toulon in their 21-20 win over Racing Metro.
Son ailier Dylan Armitage, qui après 80 mètres de dit et de Guillaume Nami.
Benito Masilevo's brief side came from behind to beat Castres 23-22.
Il revient au vestiaire avec seulement 3 points de retard, un véritable miracle.
Meanwhile, in the Aviva Premiership in England, Semesan Rokondunguni scored 2 tries to take his tally up to 6 this season for Bath, as they defeated Gloucester 17-12.
And the will to cross the line apparent in all the best finishers in the game.
Talento Takavaka, FBC Sports.
The Rewa football side will have to find another player to fill in the void left by Setareki Hughes, who has joined Suva for the upcoming OFC Champions League. Hughes' departure opens the door for other players looking to get into the Delta Tigers squad for the upcoming season, beginning with the Vodafone Premier League, which resumes this weekend.
That's what football is. Players come and go, but at the same time, there is opportunity for another player to show up and perform. Maybe not as high as what Setareki was, but something for the player to really show that he can put his hands up when we want them.
The National League resumes on Sunday with Rewa to host by Nausori, while Lautoka takes on Nandronga in Nandi. Work is already underway to revamp cinemas around the country to cater for the growing number of movie lovers. The Damoda Group says that 3 big cinemas in the east, west and the north are currently being renovated. Akusita Tale has the details.
Village 6 was the only movie theatre complex in Suva before the Damoda City Cinema opened in Lautala Bay. Still loved and visited by many, it now has a new concept in place to give itself a facelift.
We're revamping the development itself, the property itself. We're looking at a new concept for candy bar. There's the cinemas, individual halls have been renovated, seats. There's a whole different technology. We're also looking into one of the cinemas, and we're also looking at the foyer to morph an event management place. So there's some exciting things coming. There's new food outlets coming there. So
Damoda says that while movies will continue to be previewed here, works have already started and will be done stage by stage to be completed by 2017.
With the cinemas, we can't close it. Because, for example, like Batman and Superman opening. So that's the only stretch it's going to take. But definitely I think some major stuff will start kicking in end of the year. There'll be a stage where the cinema will be closed, but it's going to happen stages-wise as we go along.
Renovations have also started at Lautoka's Village 4 Cinema, and expectations are high that come December, more locals will be employed.
That is also taking place. Again, there is a little another side of development that we're doing up there. But at this stage, we're renovating also the place. But our primal focus was also just the make sure that a lot of the jobs are given out locally. That's because we want to create employment. That's our key into it.
Damoda has revealed that while plans to construct cinemas in the north are still in place, they are studying the economic development to determine what people need in the next 5 to 10 years. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Showers were experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Fiji. Meanwhile, another trough slow-moving, just to the southwest of the group. Nandi and Ba were the highest today at 32 degrees. Suva and Savo were on 31, while Mombasa was the coolest at 28. Tomorrow, don't forget to take an umbrella as you head out for a busy week, as showers and thunderstorms are expected for most parts of the country. And the further outlook is northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. Recapping the main stories for tonight, government to draw up a new budget from 1st of August. Fiji will not interfere in seasonal workers' claims in Australia, and more people to be deployed to offer psychological assistance to Tropical Cyclone Winston victims. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. This week's poll question we are asking, is Fiji progressing well after Tropical Cyclone Winston? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks. My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Wulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.